America's Got Talent is full of absolutely insane child performances. From a 4-year-old making grown adults cry with her voice, to a 14-year-old shooting flaming arrows with her feet while bent backwards, I'll be going over the top 10 most talented kids ever on AGT. Grace VanderWaal proved that a 12-year-old with a ukulele could beat professional adult performers by doing something nobody expected. She completely changed what we thought was possible on AGT, and here's exactly how she revolutionized the entire show. Grace walked on stage in season 11 with just her ukulele and sang "I Don't Know My Name," a song she wrote herself. This wasn't a cover or a tribute to some famous artist. This was completely original music that sounded like nothing else anyone had ever performed on AGT.
What are you gonna sing?
I'm singing an original.
Really?
Yes.
What's it about?
It's about me.
The lyrics were personal, the melody was catchy, and her voice had this unique quality that you couldn't compare to anyone else.
I don't know my name.
Simon Cowell doesn't throw around compliments lightly, but he called her the next Taylor Swift right after her audition.
You know what I predict for you? I think you are the next little Taylor Swift.
She got Howie's Golden Buzzer and went on to win the entire season, beating trained singers, professional dancers, and seasoned variety acts with nothing but her original songwriting and ukulele skills.
I think right now they're gonna know your name because you are going right.
But here's why Grace changed AGT forever, and why this matters for every kid performer who came after her. Before Grace, kid performers mostly did covers of popular songs, or tried to recreate existing styles that already worked. They would sing Whitney Houston or Beyonce songs and try to hit the same notes. Grace proved that originality could win over technical perfection. She didn't have the strongest voice in the competition, and she wasn't the most skilled instrumentalist, but she created something entirely new that judges and audiences had never heard before. Every original song performer who auditioned after season 11 owes something to what Grace did. She opened a door that showed kids they didn't have to copy other people's success. They could create their own, but Grace's impact on the show was nothing compared to what the winner of season 1 accomplished when she proved kids could compete with adults. Because our next performer didn't just win her season, she proved that an 11-year-old could have more vocal power than any adult in America. Bianca Ryan didn't just win season 1 of AGT. She proved that an 11-year-old could have a more powerful voice than any adult who auditioned that year, setting the standard for every child performer who followed. And the evidence is still shocking today when you watch that performance back. Bianca sang "And I Am Telling You" from Dreamgirls with so much power and soul that David Hasselhoff called her his favorite contestant.
Okay, singing what?
And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going by Jennifer Holliday.
That's a big song, mama. All right, let's hear it.
This wasn't just impressive for a kid. This was a world-class vocal performance that would be considered outstanding coming from a professional adult singer with years of training. She belted those high notes with perfect pitch, controlled her breathing like a seasoned performer, and delivered emotional depth that seemed impossible for someone in 6th grade. Brandy called her performance unbelievable and noted the incredible difficulty of the song.
That was unbelievable.
Thank you.
You are my favorite contestant in this competition.
She won the very first season of AGT with a $1 million prize, setting the standard for every child performer who came after her. But here's why Bianca's victory was so important for the show's future, and what it meant for kid performers everywhere. Bianca proved that AGT could find genuine talent, not just novelty acts or cute kids doing impressive tricks. Her win legitimized the show as a serious talent competition that could launch real careers. She showed that kids could compete with adults and win based purely on vocal ability and performance skills. Unfortunately, the pressure of that early success and the demands of a professional singing career led to vocal surgeries that nearly ended her career before she turned 20. But her season 1 victory paved the way for every talented kid who followed, proving that age doesn't matter if you have world-class talent. Speaking of powerful voices that defied age expectations, the next performer took vocal ability to an even more technically impressive level, because our next performer was so good that she didn't even need to show up to live auditions to make it to the finals. Angelica Hale had every reason not to perform on AGT. At 9 years old, she was still recovering from a kidney transplant that nearly killed her when she was 4, but her performance proved that talent combined with an inspiring survival story is absolutely unbeatable, and her golden buzzer moment was absolutely perfect in every possible way.
You are the chosen one!
Angelica sang Rise Up by Andra Day with so much power, emotion, and personal connection that Chris Hardwick immediately smashed his golden buzzer without hesitation. Why say Shui?
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round.
The song choice was perfect because Angelica had literally risen up from near death to perform on that stage. She had survived pneumonia that led to kidney failure, received a kidney from her mother, and spent years recovering before she was strong enough to pursue her dreams of singing. She made it all the way to the finals and came in second place, then got to duet with Kelly Clarkson during the results show, which was probably the highlight of her entire AGT experience. But here's why Angelica's journey was so impactful and why her story resonated with millions of viewers. Angelica showed that talent isn't just about natural ability or perfect technique. It's about perseverance, determination, and using your personal struggles to connect with an audience on an emotional level. Her health battle made every note she sang more meaningful because you knew how hard she had fought just to be healthy enough to perform. She proved that the best AGT performances combine technical skill with genuine emotion and personal story. When you're watching someone who almost died perform a song about rising up, it hits completely different than just watching someone with a good voice sing a popular song. But our next performer took the combination of danger and skill to a completely new level that nobody had ever seen before, because what you're about to see next involved actual fire and seemed to defy the basic laws of physics. Courtney Hadwin's transformation on the AGT stage was so dramatic that it looked like two completely different people performing. Her personality change was so extreme that it became one of the most viral AGT moments ever, and here's how she pulled off one of the most shocking transformations in AGT history. Courtney walked on stage looking like the shyest 13-year-old in the world. She seemed nervous, quiet, and almost scared during her pre-performance interview with the judges. Her voice was soft and she looked like she wanted to disappear.
How are you?
A little bit nervous.
That's okay to be nervous. It's totally understandable. What's your name?
Courtney.
But the moment the music started for Hard to Handle by Otis Redding, she transformed into a full rock star channeling Janis Joplin. She had growls, raspy vocals, wild energy, and stage presence that seemed absolutely impossible for someone so young and shy. Her hair was flying, her voice was powerful, and she commanded that stage like she'd been performing rock music for decades. Howie Mandel gave her an instant golden buzzer, and she made it to the finals, finishing in 6th place, but becoming one of the most memorable contestants in AGT history. But here's why Courtney's performance was so powerful and why that transformation was exactly what AGT judges love to see. Courtney proved that the best AGT acts create complete transformations that shock the audience and go viral on social media.
The only thing I can do for you, young lady, is give you...
She wasn't just singing a song or showing off a skill, she was becoming a completely different person on stage, which is the kind of dramatic change that makes moments go viral and creates the wow factor that AGT judges are always looking for. Her shy to rock star transformation was so extreme that it felt almost supernatural, like she was possessed by the spirit of rock and roll. That's the kind of moment that people share with their friends and talk about for years. But even Courtney's incredible transformation couldn't match the pure innovation and danger of our next performer, because our next performer literally combined two completely different skills that should never go together and somehow made it work perfectly. Sophie Dawsey didn't just do contortion on AGT. She combined contortion with archery in ways that seemed to defy the laws of physics and probably several safety regulations. Her performances looked impossible, and her performances were legitimately dangerous in the best possible way that made for incredible television. Sophie shot arrows with her feet while doing handstands, which already sounds impossible when you say it out loud. She bit apples while bent completely backwards in positions that looked like they would break a normal person's spine. During judge cuts, she performed in an aerial hoop and shot a flaming arrow at a target while suspended upside down, which got Reba McEntire to give her the golden buzzer and advance her straight to the quarterfinals. She made it to the top 10 in season 11 and has returned to AGT multiple times, including Champions where she placed 3rd in the preliminaries and Fantasy League where she got Heidi Klum's golden buzzer for a performance involving a giant spinning wheel that looked like it came from a medieval torture chamber. Here's why Sophie's act was so revolutionary and why she's continued to be successful long after her original season. Sophie created a completely new art form that had never existed before in entertainment history. She wasn't just good at contortion, and she wasn't just good at archery. She invented contortion archery, making her automatically the best in the world at something nobody else was even attempting. That's the kind of innovation that makes careers last long after AGT ends, because you can't be replaced or outdone by someone who's just slightly better at what you do. When you invent your own category, you're the champion by default. She's parlayed that uniqueness into a massive YouTube career with over 10 million subscribers and has appeared in movies and commercials. But our next performer took creative dance to an entirely new level of storytelling that changed what dance could be. Because our next performer proved that dance could tell complete stories just as well as movies or books. Quintavious Johnson faced something that should have ended his AGT journey before it started. Howard Stern voted no on his audition, giving him a rejection that usually means you're going home, but he still made it to the finals. And here's how he turned that devastating setback into one of the greatest AGT success stories ever. Quintavious sang Beyonce's Listen with so much soul, gospel power, and emotional depth that 3 out of 4 judges said yes despite Howard's no vote. His voice had runs, riffs, and emotional maturity that seemed absolutely impossible for a 12-year-old from Tennessee. The way he controlled his voice and delivered the emotional content of that song showed training and natural ability that most adult singers spend decades trying to develop.
There's gonna be an answer. Let it be. I wake up to the sound of music.
He made it all the way to the finals, finishing in 5th place, where he got to duet with Jennifer Hudson herself, an Oscar-winning and Grammy-winning singer who was clearly impressed by his talent and stage presence.
There will be an answer. Let it be.
But here's why Quintavious' journey was so inspiring and what it taught other performers about perseverance. Quintavious proved that you don't need unanimous approval to succeed on AGT or in life. He showed that sometimes one person's opinion doesn't matter if your talent is undeniable to everyone else who sees it. His ability to overcome early rejection and still reach the finals with a Jennifer Hudson duet proved that persistence, talent, and believing in yourself will eventually win out over initial setbacks. His story became an inspiration for kids who face rejection or criticism, showing them that one person's no doesn't define your worth or your potential for success. But our next performer combined that level of vocal talent with a story that made her absolutely impossible to ignore. Because our next performer was literally destined for AGT success from the moment she was born. Celine Tam had the most perfectly aligned name, talent, and performance style of any AGT contestant ever. She was literally destined to succeed from birth, and her performances proved that sometimes destiny is real.
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel
here's how she lived up to her legendary namesake in ways that seemed almost supernatural. Celine was named after Celine Dion by parents who were huge fans, and her sister was named Dion when she sang My Heart Will Go On at age 9. It felt like watching a mini version of her idol performing the song that made Celine Dion famous worldwide. The judges called her a mini-me of Celine Dion, and her precision, vocal control, and passionate delivery were remarkable for someone so young.
Dear far, wherever you are.
Laverne Cox gave her the golden buzzer during Judge Cuts, sending her straight to the quarterfinals. She continued with How Am I Supposed to Live Without You and other Celine Dion classics, proving that her connection to the music went beyond just sharing a name. But here's what made Celine's story so perfect for AGT and why her performances felt like destiny rather than just talent. Celine represented the ultimate AGT dream story that producers and audiences love.
We'll go on and on.
A kid named after a superstar who grows up to perform that superstar's songs on national television with incredible skill and natural ability. Her performances felt like destiny rather than just talent, which is the kind of narrative that AGT audiences absolutely love and remember for years. She proved that sometimes having the perfect name and story is just as important as having the perfect voice. When your life story already sounds like it was written for television, you have an advantage that goes beyond just technical skill. But even Celine's perfect destiny story couldn't match the pure, innocent talent of our #1 performer who achieved the impossible. Because our #1 performer accomplished something that has never been done before or since in entertainment history, and probably never will be again. Caitlin Maher is the most talented kid ever on AGT because she achieved something that seems physically and mentally impossible. At just 4 years old, she performed with more poise, control, and natural ability than most adult performers with decades of experience. And here's the evidence that puts her at #1 and why no other child performer has ever come close to matching what she accomplished. Caitlin sang Somewhere Out There from An American Tail with perfect pitch, clear diction, and emotional expression that captivated all 3 judges and the entire audience.
Somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight.
Piers Morgan, Sharon Osbourne, and David Hasselhoff all voted yes, advancing her through multiple rounds to reach the top 10, making her the youngest performer ever to make it that far in AGT history. She performed songs like When You Wish Upon a Star and Beauty and the Beast in later rounds, maintaining that same incredible poise and vocal ability throughout the competition. She never seemed nervous, never forgot lyrics, and never lost that natural stage presence that made her performances seem effortless.
They hope to sing, we might be wishing on the same bright star.
But here's why Caitlin is the most talented kid ever, and why what she accomplished will probably never be matched. What Caitlin accomplished at age 4 is literally unprecedented in entertainment history, and defies everything we know about child development. Most 4-year-olds can barely speak in complete sentences, have short attention spans, and get scared or overwhelmed in new situations. But Caitlin was performing complex songs with perfect pitch and emotional maturity on national television in front of millions of viewers. She proved that talent can emerge at any age, and when it appears in someone that young, it's absolutely magical and almost supernatural. No other AGT kid performer has ever matched the combination of age, skill, and natural stage presence that Caitlin displayed. The younger you are when you show that level of talent, the more impressive it becomes. The fact that she went on to graduate from Duke University, work with the Aspen Institute, and continue performing and advocating shows that her talent was real and lasting, not just a cute childhood moment that faded as she grew up. Which of these talented kids shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe for more AGT content and entertainment countdowns.